Hey there, thanks for stopping by. Hi everyone, my name is Glory and today we're going to be filming a very fun video. So we're going to be unboxing the Vitamix E310. So this just got delivered 2 days ago and I haven't seen anything inside yet, so it's going to be really exciting to unbox it. And to be honest, being someone who has been focusing on healthy living for quite a bit of time now, I think investing in Vitamix is a huge decision and a huge investment. So I didn't take this decision lightly, and hopefully it's gonna be a good investment. So let's go. Okay, let's unbox this. So the first thing I see is there's a cookbook, and there's also like a manual on how to use this. So we have that. And then also the first thing you see is the glass container. Oh, sorry, it's not glass, it's like perspex, it's like plastic, but like more durable than glass, I think. It's a hefty weight, but it's not too heavy if it was a glass container. So we have that. And then we have the tamper. We have the tamper here to move stuff around without it being able to hit the blades. So we finally got this part out. So this is just gonna be the base. Okay, oh, quite heavy. Okay, and I think that's it, so there's nothing left. We can take a look at the base. So that's the base. And then I guess we can try putting the container on. I don't think the rotation really matters, like as long as it's on, right? Yeah, so it's not connected to any power source now. So this would be the pulse button, and then this would be controlling the speeds, and then that would be the open and closing button. So I think it's just three main parts, which is the base, the container, and the tamper. So I think once we remove this smaller cover, so then you'd be able to fit the tamper in and move some of the stuff around without hitting the blades, as I mentioned previously. So there's that. And then we can also take a look at the container. So this is the cover. So I think it's quite a good seal. And the blades are non-removable, so you can't really take the blades out to wash it. So this is like to ensure the safety of the users. I'm gonna open the manual and the recipe book and see what's inside. So these are the two books we got. And then we can get closer, take a look. So there's quite a few recipes that they offer you, but to be honest, like the internet's your best friend, so you're gonna find tons of recipes that use this blender because it's a very good high-speed blender that I think can also substitute as a food processor. So I think it's a very good model. And this is just some manual stuff. And yeah, so that's the unboxing part. We're gonna clean this up, and then we're probably gonna test this thing out with some recipes to see its strength and its performance. So stay tuned for that.
So the first recipe is an oat milk. So this is pretty simple. Just add a bit of water, some rolled oats, and just a bit of extra stuff like maple syrup and salt. And then after that, you just blend it all together. And then you just strain it through a mesh bag to get rid of the oat pulp. And then there you have your oat milk. So my review is that it's a bit gritty, but overall still really, really smooth and good, just like the store-bought ones.
So the next recipe we have is a simple green smoothie. I'm gonna try without using plant milk first to see like if we can achieve that thick consistency we're looking for. So we have like frozen banana, frozen pineapple, and then some fresh cucumber and just some spinach. And we're gonna add them to the container now. We're also gonna try the tamper. So we actually didn't need to put any liquid, which is really cool because it was powerful enough to blend all of the ingredients by itself. So there's still a bit of green speckles in it, but I think it's honestly fine. I think it looks quite smooth. So now we're gonna try and pour it into some bowls. So the consistency is actually very nice, very thick. And now we can add some toppings on these smoothie bowls.
So we have a little bit of frozen blueberries and then a little bit of homemade granola. Recipe will be coming out soon, and just add a bit of drizzle of your favorite nut butter.
So here are the smoothie bowls, and we're gonna do a taste test. So we're gonna do a taste test of this smoothie bowl now. Really excited. It's been sitting out here for a while, but I think it should taste the same. That's so good. Like, the consistency is thick. Like, I think it's smooth. Like, you can see the green speckles, but I still feel like the consistency is really smooth and like thick. And I feel like this is what the texture you want for a smoothie bowl. So I'm really happy with this. So this is a win for me. I don't know, I really like this. So the third recipe we have is almond butter. So this is actually the recipe I'm most excited about because, you know, for like previous blenders, it's just probably not strong enough to do this, but the Vitamix is actually marketed as a blender that's able to blend up nuts to create nut butter. So we're gonna try this out today. So the ingredients for this is just almonds. So I'm not adding anything else to this recipe, just almonds. So we can start. I'm gonna start blending it on maybe high speed, but let's go. So I'm also gonna be using the tamper just to push the nuts down. Wow, so I'm so surprised with this because it literally took like what, I think just below 10 minutes to make it into like a nut butter. And I'm just so happy because I'm like such a huge fan of nut butters. I can eat like spoonfuls of it at one time. So the only thing I noticed is that it gets a bit hot like after you finish blending it. So if I touch here, it's actually like a bit warm. But the motor itself is not that bad. So I think only this like metal part is a bit warm, but I think it's just the nuts that get a lot warmer. So this is the consistency. As you can tell, it's very like smooth. And I'm just very happy with the texture. So I'll have a spoonful and then you can see so as you can tell, it's very smooth. I think I blended it a bit more once it was past the chunky texture. So it's very nice. So you can use this for your smoothie bowls like I just did previously and put it on toast. But yeah. So we're gonna do a taste test now. Oh wow, it's actually warm. The nut butter is warm. It's so nice. It's so smooth. Okay, so I think it actually tastes like the store-bought ones. It's actually really smooth, and it don't taste a difference compared to the store-bought ones because it's so smooth, and the consistency is just so nice. So I don't see anything like, and I feel like this is cheaper than if you buy the store-bought versions. So honestly, if you can blend it yourself, like you should probably blend it yourself. So yeah, I'm very excited. This was my first homemade batch of nut butter and I'm so excited to keep eating this.
This clip is just to show that it did take us quite a bit of time to actually get all of the nut butter out of the container.
Sit, hand, that hand. Or is he shy? Yes. Shy? Yes. Touch, touch. Turn around. Turn around. All right, come here. Come here. Follow me.
So it took us quite a bit of time to actually get all the nut butters out. So right now I'm gonna show you how you can clean this Vitamix. And especially with nut butters being so sticky and thick and oily, there's a special way of cleaning it. So I'm gonna show you how to do it now. So first we're gonna add some normal tap water to the blender. And then we're just gonna add some detergent. And now we're just gonna close this and blend it on high speed so it can clean the blade specifically. As you know, it's not removable. So this is what it looks like after blending. So the blade is actually relatively clean, and now we're just gonna manually clean it out by hand. we're gonna do a final review of Vitamix E310 and just give some of my personal thoughts after using it and after making 3 recipes. So first, let's talk about the positives. Obviously, it's a very nice blender. It's very high speed. It's very powerful. I think I was just very surprised with the performance it had for the nut butters, and it's able to blend up dry ingredients without any liquids. And I think that's just one of its selling points, the fact that it's able to blend up dry ingredients and almost substitute a food processor as a blender. So I think that's the first point. And the second point is that the tamper, I think, is a very good addition to this blender because you don't really have to worry about the tamper hitting the blades because it's specifically tailor made to fit the blender. So you don't have all those like spoons hitting the sides and stuff. And the third point is I think the cleanup is relatively easy, especially if you're not blending some oily stuff. You just put in water, put in detergent, and it blends up and the blades are basically clean by itself because you don't have to reach your hand in and be worried about cutting your hands and stuff. So now let's move on to the negatives. So the first thing I noticed is while blending the nut butter is that it heats up quite a bit. Definitely not to the point of overheating, but I think it definitely heats up a bit. So it might not be a good idea to use the blender at a high speed for prolonged periods of time. And the second thing is also about the cleanup. So again, with the nut butters, because it's a very thick and oily mixture, the cleanup is definitely longer, say compared to making a smoothie. So you might just need to blend it a few more times and soak it in soapy water first before you actually clean it. And you need to clean it a bit manually by hand as well. So now I'm gonna talk about if I think that this Vitamix is worth the price. So if we use Amazon UK as a standard, it's gonna cost around £300. But because we purchased this in Hong Kong, so it's slightly more expensive because there's a built-in transformer to adapt to the voltage here. So personally, I do think it's worth the price because of just how of a good performance it has. So because we've had our fair share of blenders in the past that has poor performances, it doesn't blend things to a consistency that we would like it to be, especially it doesn't blend it to as smooth as we'd like it to be. So I think this really has a very nice performance because it blends things to the perfect consistency that we're looking for, and it can blend up dry ingredients whole. So from that viewpoint, I think it's definitely worth the investment, especially also if you're starting to invest into a more healthier lifestyle. I think this is a very nice place to start. But definitely you don't have to invest in Vitamix right in the beginning. I think experiment with your lifestyle first and the foods you'd like to make, but later down the line, I just think is a good investment because when you make a lot of home cooked meals, you don't have to worry about the fact that there's gonna be a lot of preservatives or additives. You know exactly what's going in the food that you make. So I think it's a good investment for me. Anyways, thank you so much for stopping by and watching my videos. Please subscribe and comment down below if this is something you'd like to see more in the future, and thank you so much for watching.
I didn't get it.
Wait, why did it?
哎呦，窿啊，出嚟啦！